welcome to Roundtable Podcast. I'm Helix. I'm joined, as usual, by...
Legend.
And Born.
You may have noticed that, obviously, we had that special two-part episode for Part 12. For Episode 12, where we may or may not have overrun by an entire another episode.
Pretty funny.
Yeah.
We plan on not doing that again unless it's like a special episode. I reckon we could do that.
Or it just happens randomly.
Yeah.
We're talking about it's that in depth.
But like episode 25 or something like that, like a significant milestone, we can definitely do a two-part special. If you didn't see that and you didn't notice it, link in the description. Go back and watch part 1 and 2, where you can delve a little bit into, I suppose, our lives.
Yeah.
Our futures almost. What we think is our futures anyway.
To be fair, we could start off with the idea of, does everyone still have the same idea of what we want to use this podcast for? Or has that sort of morphed a little bit?
Oh, what, like 13 episodes later?
Yeah.
Technically 40. Well, no, it would be 15 episodes later if I didn't lose episode 4.
Because we started...
Technical error.
Yeah. Because
Ironic.
we started with an idea, didn't we? We started with, we're going to run this podcast, just because we yap a lot.
Yeah.
But do you have any idea of what you want to use the podcast for now that we're like 14 episodes in? Like, you may have an idea.
In what context?
As an extension, or perhaps as an outreach, or...
What do you mean extension?
As in an extension of the first idea that we had, which is to use the podcast as a way to record ourselves talking for entertainment.
Even though none of us actually like our voices.
Yeah,
I've
ironically.
listened to the whole podcast through and through. I'm used to it now.
Okay.
I have to listen to it every week because I have to edit it. But luckily I don't have to do much editing next week because the aircon's not on. Oh, that was a fucking nightmare last night. But I feel like because of that I got it as crisp as I could.
Yeah?
I was quite impressed with it.
That's good.
I think my idea of the podcast is still very much the same as when we started.
Yeah?
I like doing a podcast. I like, especially now that I'm a host as opposed to a co-host,
Yeah.
because we're all hosts. Like,
Yeah, in our own way, yeah, because we switch between asking each other questions.
yeah, like the only difference is that I do the intro and outro,
Yeah.
but
You're in control,
yeah, and I'm the timekeeper per se.
which is pretty...
I'm not very good at it, but but no, like the fact that I now kind of have a little bit more say in the podcast and what we talk about, as opposed to the last podcast I did, which I still really enjoyed. I had no issue. Also, what was that alarm?
That wasn't an alarm, that was someone calling him.
Who was calling you?
No.
Hey, you sassy bugger.
Oh,
Yeah?
Anyway.
Mr. Popular over here.
Oh my goodness.
Which side piece is that?
Too many. I don't want to. But,
Comment down below between 1 and 900.
So, Legend, what is your idea of what you want to make out of this podcast? What do you want to mold this into for yourself?
To be honest, I have no clue. Yeah,
I mean,
it just builds up my confidence with talking. Because at work I'm more or less quiet. At home I'm always quiet. Yeah.
I'm actually louder at work.
Well,
I'm bad at small talk, but
even though there's 4 people in my department,
yeah,
I'm the only one that works alone.
in what the rest work together.
Yeah. They do one thing, I do the rest.
That doesn't sound good.
No, but that's what I've signed up for, so.
I guess, but
Well, to be fair, it's a bit like the same for me at work. There's 4 of us, and I was hired for a specific job. I do that specific job. I don't do anything else.
Yeah, that's what I do.
really, you want to use the podcast as a means to get more confident with your speaking ability.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
I'm normally quiet anyway.
That's actually fair.
Yeah, you see, I'm not overly worried about my confidence, especially with talking.
That's because you talk for Britain.
Yeah, but to be fair, I think the only time that my talking's not as confident is when I'm when I'm in front of people. You put me in front of a camera or put me behind a microphone, no problem. Put me in front of people and it's 50-50.
For me, it doesn't really matter. My speaking ability is the same. However, I'm terrible at small talk. I hate it.
I don't do small talk. I can do it, but I don't like it.
I can't do it. I have tried for several years. Small talk is the one thing I can't handle, and it's because, right? Genuinely, it's because my upbringing was strange.
Yeah.
That's it. So let's say let's say what normally happens is someone's like, "Hey, how are you?" Right, and I say, "I'm fine, thanks." I forget to ask about the other person. That's usually what happens, right? But if it gets past that stage, I'm like, "Oh, how are you?" Yeah, I'm doing fine. Dead.
Yeah.
There's no other
That's it,
conversation. I genuinely do not know what to say after that.
You see, I've always...
You say, hand over your wallet.
That's probably not the type of thing you say in a work environment.
Hey, no, but it's small talk. It gets the conversation flowing.
Exactly.
Small talk.
Because they have to talk to you like, please,
Yeah,
please
now
don't.
they're going to try and talk you down. So there you go. You've started a conversation. Please don't try this at home. Or anywhere, for that matter. You probably will get arrested.
Get arrested, lose your job.
Oh, if you're listening in the States, you'll probably get shot.
Not if they're slow.
But yeah, I suppose. But no, so I think my thing is I've never had an issue talking to people. Or I did when I was younger, but now I don't.
I still do.
But I've always been quite a good talker. I can talk. You've seen me bullshit my way out of situations. I'm good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the odd thing is with me, as you guys probably noticed, I'm good at talking to certain people. I connect to certain people really well and others really bad.
You're good at talking to the people that you're interested in talking to.
Hence the 900 ladies on his phone.
I don't even think it's that, because there are some people, even if I've never met them, I will connect with them instantly and be able to talk to them for ages.
I think with you it's based on the vibe.
Maybe, you know.
Thing is, we've always had that, even in our old group.
Is it?
Yeah, we were connected with everyone.
Yeah.
We was the loved ones. We're the married couple.
Oh, but I'm good at connecting with others if I use you as like the middle ground.
He uses white people, you see.
Yeah. It's about time.
He's like, look at my white boy.
Hey bro, can I borrow your rights?
I give him the white card and it all goes smooth after that.
Come back a businessman. But yeah, generally, because I would say that I'm genuinely antisocial.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm genuinely antisocial.
I think I'm a bit of a flip.
I'm not an extrovert or an introvert. I'm an ambivert, but I'm more on the introvert.
Yeah, you see, I'm kind of slap bang in the middle. Like,
Right.
I can be social, but if I had the choice, I'd rather do my own thing.
Yeah, same.
But not to the point of it's like I'm going to avoid going out to places. Like, I will still go. Like, if I've said I'm going,
Yeah.
unless something comes up, I'm going. Because I know if I don't, I will never do anything. You know?
Yeah. No. I get it.
Go on, Legends. Would you say you're introvert or extrovert or neither or both?
I'll say introvert.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd happily stay in my house.
No, you're.
But
you're
I've noticed that you can do extroverted stuff,
Oh yeah, definitely.
but not by
Push
choice.
comes to shove.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, one thing I noticed about the pair of us is at the club we were kind of just universally liked.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
Because we're white. No, I'm joking.
we were also kind of like
I
universally
genuinely think
trusted.
it's because you two were older than everyone else in there.
Yeah.
I'm older than him.
Yeah, but I was still older than everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
And
You
not
think I'm only a
that-
couple years younger?
And not only
Still
that,
younger.
but maturity leads to security if you mature.
Yeah.
Right. So if you say the right things, people tend to trust you more.
But like we'd get all the gossip.
Yes.
And the best thing is we'd get all sides of it. So if 3 people have had an argument, we'd hear all 3 stories.
Yeah. For the
And
whole
it
night.
was great. But if someone said something to you and told you not to say anything,
Oh.
any money, 10 minutes later he's coming to tell me.
Yep.
Because he knows that it then won't go any further than that.
Yeah.
No.
And vice versa.
Oh, it's hilarious, man.
But it was great because we're just sat there trying to piece these puzzle pieces together. Of like, to see who... How many times have we played detective?
More than I can
Just
remember.
to see what would happen.
Yeah, a lot more.
Oh, it was great.
What was
Ton.
this episode about again?
I don't really... we don't have topics anymore.
Yeah, we don't have topics. We just talk absolute shit.
Yeah, we don't do topics anymore.
But we started with an idea, didn't we?
No,
No.
unless you had an idea and didn't tell us.
I think you started with something that led us onto this conversation, but I don't know what it was.
To be fair, workplace drama, there's nothing like it.
Oh no.
And it's so spicy. It's so spicy.
I don't get any no more.
Neither do I, because there's only 4 of us.
It's 4 in my department, 2 in the next department, and then the forbidden zone on the other side.
Yeah, I just witness everything. So I don't get any drama per se, because I see it, and it's boring. However, I told you about some drama the other day regarding a mutual friend of ours, but I'm not allowed to say it.
Oh, yeah.
I cannot say that on air because I don't even think I'm meant to know it.
Oh,
I'll
Tell you off air.
yeah.
I'm going to say it's absolute bullshit.
Oh, 100%. But that's a story for
another time.
For another time when I have permission and I'm meant to know.
I do have some interest. Well, no, the people outside of our homes are very interesting to me.
There's a lot of people outside my home.
They act so... Right, so I obviously had to go to work for a meeting today, and I've come back off the trains and I've come to the station, right? And there's this... I wouldn't say homeless, but he looked homeless, right? And he was standing at the doors of the station, the moving doors. The doors were just stuck open, flicking a lighter, going, yeah, have that, to the security guard who was miles away from him, leaning over the barriers that you put your tickets in, right? So...
Crackheads everywhere.
I don't know what was going on.
Well, you do live in Crackhead Central.
Was this our end or the other end?
Our end, right?
Oh yeah, Crackhead
So
Central.
then I've gone into the shops, right? And I bought myself some coffee because I was like, I'm gonna need it, I'm flipping tired. I've come out and he's knocked over all the newspapers that they normally leave for like people who still enjoy reading those. And he pulls out, I kid you not, the newest iPhone out of his pocket to record the security guard picking it up off the floor, right? And he's going, yeah, you see, this scumbag, blah, 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 right? And then out of nowhere, a woman, right, who looked like she was also homeless, pulls out a brand new white iPhone and also begins recording the security guard, which left me baffled, to say the least, because they were dressed like they could sleep outside that train station and no one would bat an eye. But they both had brand new iPhones. Like, I'm not even talking about the standard ones. We're talking the
all the bells and whistles.
Everything. It had what is it? You know what are those live streamers use when they hold it?
The
stands for their phones to stop the shaking.
Like the gimbal?
Like yeah, he had that.
What the fuck have you got? Nah, do you know what that is? That is a prime example of someone that is trying to get famous on TikTok. So I bought all of the toys. But the problem with TikTok and other places like that is if you are not like obnoxiously funny,
yep,
controversial, or a whore, you're not getting famous.
I'm all 3 of them, by the way.
But you gotta be a pretty whore.
He is a pretty whore. Look at him.
But yeah, honestly, I didn't stay because I was freaked out by this point. I was like, what are they? Are they rich? Are they poor? Are they entertainers? What's going on here?
Also, I've just realised I need to upload that clip of me saying all of that shit about TikTok onto TikTok because that sounded pretty controversial to me.
Yep.
We're getting famous, boys.
Oh no.
Oh, come on. Let's be honest. Is there any more controversial podcast on any platform other than us, other than Joe Rogan?
I think
Joe Rogan's pretty controversial.
Yeah.
No, there are a few I could think of. Have you heard of the red pill community?
No.
Oh, it's so bad.
I do feel like we take the biscuit a bit there.
It's so bad. No, we're nothing like them.
I'm surprised we haven't been demonetized yet.
I did get told off the other day by YouTube.
For what?
You know the little to be continued thing I did? I got told off for it.
Why?
Copyright.
Oh.
Didn't get a strike, luckily. They were just like, hey, that's not yours.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know it was copyrighted. All right, fine.
To be continued?
Huh?
To be continued?
Oh, I just edited it with the YouTube app and just swapped it out for a different... for something exactly the same, but a different chord.
Oh, okay.
So it was the same tune, but in a different octave. So it was different enough, but still kept the same vibe.
No, okay.
And I was like, I'm fucking having it because that's funny.
To be fair, I think homeless people are really interesting to me.
Go on.
Genuinely, especially in the UK where the help is available,
Oh,
but they just choose not to. Take
so what? But the problem is, although the help is available, the funding isn't great.
No, but if you walked into Job Centre, told them you're homeless, you had all your paperwork. Because I think some of the issue is, especially with like the younger folk, is that they don't have the paperwork to then apply for jobs. But if they could, they'd still be getting paid.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be living on the streets, but you'd still be getting some money.
The problem is you've also got the issue of council housing.
Yeah.
If I went on the streets, no chance of I getting a council house.
Yeah, there's no
Because
chance of me
Actually,
or
you're
you.
employed, so you would.
No.
No.
If I wasn't employed,
Oh, right.
if I just went homeless,
Yeah, and then just,
no fault of my own,
yeah,
I'm not getting a council house.
not for at least next 4 years.
Yeah, but you say that.
You should say you're pregnant.
Obviously, my missus has a job.
Yeah.
She applied for the council housing. She got kicked off 5 minutes later.
What do you mean?
She got kicked off the list 5 minutes later after we put her on it.
Why?
They're not saying. They don't put anything up. They just kicked her off.
Oh.
I think that they have a demographic.
But I would definitely not be. My application would not go further than the cylindrical filing unit, also known as the bin, simply because I am a straight white man.
Yeah.
To
Literally.
be fair, my skin
can
colour has
survive.
nothing to do with it. It's because I'm a man.
Yeah. Because we can survive on the streets.
It's because it's because I'm not single, obviously, but on paper, because I'm not married, I am technically
You
single.
know what I find BS actually?
Go on.
Do you know that they council across the UK realised that people were getting together and not getting married but still staying together in the same house, so they changed it on the paperwork so that you now both still have to pay
Yeah.
as if you were married.
Yeah.
What? I forgot the wording that they used, but it was
Civil living
yeah,
or
civil
something.
partnership.
Yeah.
I could not believe my eyes when I saw that.
Yeah.
So not only do we have a bedroom tax, we also have civil partnership. So you can't just say, oh yeah, we're together.
Yeah.
And she's just like moving in, we're seeing how things work. All right, yeah, hand over your council tax for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really work for me. I've been with my missus 9 years.
Yeah, nah, you're practically married.
Practically married.
Nah, bro.
Let's be honest. The three of us are closer to getting married than you and your missus.
Yeah, fair.
Realistically.
Realistically,
I'm already married to Bourne.
If Bourne got down on one knee,
Oh, I'm saying yes.
no one would
Yep.
be surprised.
But
Bourne wouldn't get back up, but
it needs to be with a bucket of chicken, though.
Yeah. I would
Otherwise, I'm saying no.
forget the ring. Just
Chicken?
yeah, just food.
KFC bucket. That's circle. That'll do.
You know what I also learned, because I was talking to somebody at work, I also learned that, do you know that women were supposed to get us a ring as well? Yeah, when you propose and get them an engagement ring, they're
meant to wear
supposed to
on
go
as well.
back and then they're meant to get us something called a wedding band.
No,
Which
that's
is basically...
Is a wedding band not what you get when you get married?
No, this is before you get married.
Oh.
So when you get engaged, they are also meant to get you a ring.
Oh.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, but it had been so, I would say, whitewashed
Yeah.
to the point where both genders forgot.
There you go, guys.
Supposed to get the man a ring as well.
I think my missus would do it anyway.
Is it?
Yeah.
You have that much faith in her? Huh?
No, I reckon she would.
So if
Because I think she'd feel guilty that I've got her this
Expensive.
gift, and she's like, oh, I have to get him one.
£20 ring
The
from
whole process
Amazon.
confused me.
No, I'm waiting for you to learn how to do all this metal work
Oh yeah, I'm learning.
because you want to make jewelry.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for you. I'm waiting for you to learn how to do
Fair
it,
lads.
so I can get you to custom make them.
I've got most of the equipment in my Amazon thing.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
You're just waiting for the
To be
time to
fair
order
lads,
it.
Yeah.
this is actually an interesting conversation, man. What would you expect your missus to get you?
In what terms?
Ring.
Ring?
If, let's say, instead of us proposing, the women in our lives propose to us.
I feel like my missus would get impatient and do it first.
But let's say she did it anyway,
Like she,
right? She
yeah.
was like, I'm not letting him get away, I'm tying the knot myself.
I want somebody to fuck off.
I feel like she wouldn't get me anything flashy.
No, but let's say she's the one that proposed to you, right? What kind of ring would she get you?
Theoretically, what do you reckon she'd get you?
No.
One like that?
No. We're
No.
talking with a rock in it.
Oh, fuck that.
That's what I'm saying. But if she did, what would she get you?
Well, just one little diamond.
She'd probably get you something like that with a diamond.
Yeah.
A diamond.
Yeah, something like that with just a diamond.
I feel like my my missus wouldn't do anything flashy.
Ugh.
Yeah, because I think she knows me. I don't do flashy. I don't really wear jewellery, as you've noticed. The only thing I wear is my earrings. And occasionally my rings if I remember. And obviously my pendant that I always have on
Yeah, rings.
whenever I'm out.
Rings and my cross.
Yeah, well...
My earring.
Mine's the same, but obviously different religion.
Yeah.
But I feel like she wouldn't do anything flashy. She'd get me something simple, but she'd get me something that she's put a lot of thought into.
So it would be pertained
wouldn't-
to either one of you or both of you.
Yeah, she wouldn't go in there and go, oh, that looks expensive, I should get him that, or he might like that. She would be meticulous. It would take her weeks to figure out what to get me. What do you reckon if you had a missus?
He has
it would
about 900
probably
of them.
either be a ruby.
Do you
or a
say in his
sapphire.
Amazon locker?
No, I'm saying on his phone there's 900 of them.
If one of those 900 were to propose to you, what do you reckon they'd get?
Probably a ruby or sapphire.
Yeah?
Because whenever they ask me, like, stuff pertaining to colour or what would you have, my answer is always either red or blue. Those are my two favourite colours.
Ironically, your gaming colour is purple.
No,
it's
mine's
red.
mine's
Is it
purple.
red?
Mine's purple.
Oh, yours is purple.
Yeah, mine's red.
I've just realised that yours is ours combined.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Was that on purpose, or was that just
No, I've
coincidence?
always liked purple.
he's always like purple. It's been...
And what makes
Purple was my favourite
What makes it
colour
even more
at one point.
funny? Passive aggressive.
Yep.
Damn.
I've just realised we don't have cameras, so you pointing doesn't clarify anything. He was calling me aggressive.
Yeah, Helix
Born
is
passive.
Yeah, and then I'm the passive aggressive.
Yeah. But
It's
to be
like
fair,
a-
I can be petty.
Yeah, but it's like I've always said.
Extremely petty.
Like it's like I've always said. Like you're chaotic good.
Yeah.
You're chaotic neutral, and I'm chaotic
Evil.
Evil.
Yeah.
We've always said this.
Yeah.
We need to get Izakai'd.
Yeah.
Bro.
Well, we've already said
so
that
much fun.
I'd make myself a god.
You'd make yourself a villain, bro.
No, I'd make myself a god.
I would make myself a merchant.
Yeah.
A travelling merchant.
To be fair, I think if we got Izakai'd, it depends on what happens. Like, are we just human?
No, but
Do
you
we
get
have
to
powers?
choose. Usually, like, you're in front of this, like, fairy lady.
Yeah.
With, like, a very, very robust figure.
Yeah.
And she asks you what you want to be in your next life. And I would just say, I want to be born into a middle to high class family
But
and trained as a merchant.
Yeah, I think we all need to clarify when we're there that we want to be with the boys.
Alright.
We have to, not necessarily with them, but in the same place.
You imagine she took it that way. We would spend the rest of our life trying not to sleep with each other.
Damn.
There was actually an anime where that happened.
Why am I not surprised?
No, but there was a salesman, right? Salesman, he got isekai'd and his friend accidentally got isekai'd. So he got forced into the hottest female body that everyone is attracted to, including his friend. And he had to spend the whole series trying to resist.
Yeah,
and it was quite funny.
I'm gonna be that dick. I want to be Izakai'd as a woman.
Damn.
I'll be like, yeah, you're gonna
What
get this
kind?
cunt.
Yeah, to be fair, we both have different preferences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would have to choose one.
So either look like a 12-year-old or look like an Asian persuasion.
I got the good one.
I mean, it's fine because that just means I'll avoid you like the plague. So,
Oh,
well
yeah,
done,
but
you
we
were
would.
successful.
That's what's funny is that we would, and no one other than us three would understand why we're avoiding legend.
But if you were actually my type, I'd just beat you.
You would put on a white sweater vest,
Yeah.
put beer bottle in hand. Where's the casserole?
No. Specifically, Stella Artois.
I would come back with hillbilly music playing
Yeah.
inside a caravan. Man, it would be awful.
Just show up like Born. Problem solved.
Problem solved. I became what all white women fear. No, bro. Oh, it'd be something else, man.
That'll be traumatizing.
I'd be like, you want to try and tempt us and say no? Boom.
Now, to be fair, something we don't really talk about, which I think is really interesting despite us being big fans of it,
Uh-oh.
is Pokemon.
Didn't we do an episode of Pokemon?
We did, but we didn't talk about which ones we would have for our daily lives.
Ooh.
Ah. Well, do we get to use them as like practical, like their powers as practical items as
No,
well?
so I thought about this the other day, and I was like, the rules are essentially to everyone else. So you essentially become schizophrenic, and you're the only one
They can see them.
that can see them. They're there. They can move objects about and stuff like that. They can listen to your whims and do whatever.
Too late for Helix.
But no one else can interact with them or see them.
Right.
Which Pokemon are you choosing to be your
Do I get one?
24-hour pet? Yeah,
24 hour
24 hours
or 24/7?
Like you can choose. It goes back in Pokeball whenever you
Oh,
want.
okay. Well, that's a difficult one.
Yeah.
Luxray.
Luxray.
Luxray's always been one of my favourites.
Pretty big.
He's dog-sized. Like Great Dane
You don't
sized.
know how big Luxray is, do you?
It's more like a Great Dane.
No, Luxray is pretty big.
I'm getting measurements up.
Luxray is pretty
Is he? Not great. More like
Yeah,
horse.
I would say about the size of one of those dogs that can kill bears.
So Great Dane.
So could push you over even if it wasn't trying.
Fuck it. That sounds great.
Caucasian shepherd dog sort of size.
I want one.
Massive, bro.
Or an Eevee.
Massive, bro.
No, I'm going with an Eevee.
Is it?
Yep.
Fair.
Or do I go with an Evolution?
To be fair, I'm going with an evolution.
What one?
Umbreon.
Good shout.
Specifically,
Good shout.
shiny Umbreon.
Yeah.
Always been my favourite Pokemon.
I'm trying to remember what the
Which
lightning.
led me to learning a fact. Dark type wasn't originally called Dark type.
What was it called?
Evil type.
Oh.
That's what it was supposed to be. But obviously, evil type doesn't translate well to the children native.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
So they changed the word
Yeah.
to dark type instead.
I'm trying to remember for the life of me the electric
4'7".
evolution. Jolteon. There we go.
You want yeah, Luxray is
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah, it's
How-
4'7"
4'7".
on
4'7".
4 legs.
That's not that big.
That's big for a dog, bro.
Yeah, it's big for a dog.
Ah, it's like a Great Dane size.
No.
Yes, it is. You just don't realise how big. 4'7" ain't that big.
That's big for a dog.
Yeah.
No.
Not big for a Pokemon.
No. Where's
Right, fine. Fuck you.
Alright.
I'm having Palkia. You want me? You're complaining about I'm going big. Palkia. That's big.
That's big. That's
Palkia's like 8-9 foot.
no. It's
Bigger?
Way bigger than that. It's way bigger.
It depends on the game.
What is
Some
it?
of the games it was smaller.
Palkia.
Palkia.
Yeah.
To be fair, because I was gonna say after this, my question was.
Yeah.
So you would have a Pokemon that was considered something that was easily findable, easily catchable. Then a mythical. Which mythical would you have, and then which legendary would you have?
Ooh.
So the mythical,
13
as
foot.
an explanation, are the ones that were essentially fairies before the fairy type. So Mew, Celebi, Victini, Pokemon like that. Really hard to find. Really specifically, you got
Right.
Jirachi, Pokemon like that.
My three. Regular. Jolteon.
Okay.
Legendary.
Yep.
Wait, what was it? Legendary.
Mythical, then legendary.
Mythical. Ooh. Probably Mew. You know, the classic.
Yeah.
And then Palkia. No, Dialga. Yeah, Dialga.
Okay. So mythical, I agree with you. I'm going with Mew.
Classic, isn't it?
I know, I've just always been a Mew fan. I have a
Cele-
Mew plushie.
Celebi is a strong second.
Shiny Celebi for me. Strong second.
See,
it's coloured like
That would have been mine instead of Mew.
Yeah.
It's Celebi.
But, nah. I mean, Celebi's design is okay, but I kind of don't like it has a raccoon mask
Yeah.
on its eyes. That's the
Yeah.
only thing that bothers me about it.
I did consider going really derpy and going with a Psyduck. Or a Snorlax.
Snorlax.
But I would probably then in that case go for Jirachi. Jirachi is my second. So, Umbreon, shiny Umbreon specifically.
Yep.
Jirachi, and then for my legendary, I would have Lugia.
Yeah?
Of course you
or
would.
Ho-Ho. Lugia or Ho-Ho. Those are my two favorite legendary
Yeah.
Pokemon.
Mine will be Espeon,
Yeah.
Celebi,
Of course you choose Espeon despite hating cats.
and Ho-Ho.
Oh. Sorry, bro.
Because he a hoe.
Yeah, ho!
Yeah, well, Pidgeot is my favourite legendary bird.
I've just always been an electric type.
I've always been a dragon type.
Yeah, I'm a fire and electric trainer.
I've always been mixed.
For me,
No,
it's
but
fire
if
and electric.
if you was to run a gym, right? If you was to run a gym, what type would you have?
Electric.
Probably flying.
That was the last thing I expected. you to
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
Genuinely, it was.
I'd have thought you'd gone psychic.
Nah, not really.
I imagine you're dragon or fairy.
It would be dragon type. I would be a dragon type gym leader, or at a push, it would be dark type.
Yeah.
Those are my two
Yeah.
favourite types.
Yeah, for me it's fire electric, but electric first. But I normally go with when it comes to starter Pokemon, I always go fire type.
Oh no! Listen. I have to fight you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blastoise is the best. Best.
I'm sorry, but I'm with Helix on this one. Fire type always.
You do realise that
Torchic is my favourite. Favourite start is Torchic.
Mudkip was the best.
But it's
in that generation.
But it's much easier when you're playing the games to get early game to get a grass and water type than it is to get a fire
Not
type.
necessarily, because to get
Like
early
90%
game-
of the time, early game.
No, because you got to think about it. Early game, let's say, like Charmander and Charizard and that, you get Pidgeys and stuff like that. And to get water types in the first game, you had to get a rod of some kind first, which took ages.
Yeah.
In the game where you had Torchic, Mudkip, and Trico, you have to wait a while before you get your first actual water type.
But
other than
it's still more.
seed.
It's still easier to get a water and grass type early game than it is to get a fire type.
Yeah, but do you know that fire types are actually the hardest to raise in game too?
Yeah.
EXP wise, grass types are the easiest to raise. Water types are in the middle. Fire types are the hardest.
Which is
to
why
raise.
you pick the fire type first, because it's going to take you longer.
It would still take you longer regardless.
But because it's going to take you longer, you don't have to play catch up with them.
No, I sit on this horse. I think the only time I didn't choose, so I chose water. I chose Squirtle, and I chose Mudkip. 100% every single time. I think Cyndaquil is the only time I changed my mind and went for a fire type. Because I hated Totodile as a child. I did.
How about Chikorita?
Chikorita, I actually quite like, but I hate Meganium.
Yeah, my game sucks.
I don't know why they couldn't have thought of anything else design-wise.
At the end of the day, there is no wrong answer for a starter Pokemon.
Yes, there is.
What?
If you was to drop them all into a battle, the water type wins most of the time.
But there's no wrong answer because it's all based on your fighting style.
Full on aggression.
If you stick a Charizard up against the Blastoise, which one of them is winning?
Blastoise.
100% of the time.
But if you
Which means that there is a correct answer.
well, no, because all three of them, are weaknesses to each other.
Yeah.
That is
So
correct.
there is no wrong answer.
But Blastoise beats Venusaur too.
It depends.
Blastoise is defensive typing.
Yeah.
Venusaur has special attack typing. So Blastoise can outlast
But
Venusaur.
Venusaur can, if you have the right setup,
Yeah.
can take health from Blastoise.
You can also put Blastoise to sleep. I'm
Yep.
not gonna lie. But
There is no wrong answer.
yeah.
It's all based on your fighting style. If you're defensive, Blastoise.
Yeah.
If you like being a dickhead, Venusaur.
Yeah.
If you like being aggressive,
Pure aggression.
Charizard.
Charizard,
Yeah.
which is the worst dragon type in the game, by the way.
the
The dragon that isn't a dragon.
but also the most famous
Yeah, I don't know why though.
Um,
Design wise.
because it's from the beginning. It's because it's part of the original.
First Pokemon to have fucking attitude.
Yeah.
No, the first instance that we had of Ash overtraining a Pokemon and it following in-game rules rather than anime rules. That's pretty much what happened there.
But it's part of the 151, so that's why. It's a day oneer. That's why it's one of the most famous.
To be fair,
It's also, is it not the most expensive
Yeah.
Pokemon card out
I
there?
believe so. Yeah.
No, it's not.
It wouldn't be now because like the stock it changes, but it had the highest.
But like historically,
Historically,
it's the most
yes.
It had the
expensive.
highest rise. Yeah.
Other
Until
than Pikachu, that one Pikachu card. that
Illustrator.
Pokemon has.
yeah, the Pokemon Illustrator card.
But I don't think we can count that because that's only what's that, 1 of 1?
Yeah,
So we can't count that.
1 of 5, I think.
Yeah, we can't
You
count
can't
that.
count that. If it's not attainable, you can't count.
Yeah,
No,
if everyone in the world couldn't have had one at some point,
Yeah, then
we don't count
Then
it.
it'll be Charizard.
Yeah. But yeah. However, I think that's a good time to cut it off because we are out of time.
Is it?
Yeah, we I've been keeping an eye on the time. We're coming up on 35 minutes.
Oh, that's not-
I try and go between 30 and 35 minutes for the episodes. Anything longer than that, we discovered is a little too much. However, if you have enjoyed today's conversation and you want to join us in the conversation, you want to carry the discussion on, head over to our Discord. The link is in the description where you can chat to us there, and you can even put forward ideas for future episodes.
Yeah, I'm always floating in there.
Yeah, I try and keep my notifications are on, so if someone puts a message in there, I'll see it.
Yeah, same.
But other than that, if you guys want to listen to more episodes but you have a busy schedule and just don't have the time, then why not join us on Spotify, Apple Music? Is it Apple Music or Apple Podcasts?
I don't use an iPhone anymore, so I don't remember.
No, I know, but you were, so...
Music, I think.
Either way, we are available on your favourite podcast platforms, so join the link in the description again to go and find those. But for now, I've been Helix.
I've been Legend.
And I've been born.
I was waiting to see if you should do that. And this has been Roundtable Podcast. We'll see you in the next one. Why am I pointing at it as if it's a camera?
Because there's going to be a camera.
There will be eventually, but
Get some practicing.
we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.
Bye.